Hi, I'm Nicole Sperling, and I'm here at EW PopFest with Pablo Larraín, the director of the wonderful new film Jackie. Pablo, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for being here. I'm well, thank you.
Please, thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
So I've got to ask, how did you come to make this movie? What I had read about you is you don't even like to make biopics.
Well, I wouldn't consider a Jackie a biopic. I mean,
It's really not.
It's like a study on somebody's sort of sensibility, feelings, and emotion throughout a specific period of time. And I was invited by a filmmaker that I really love and admire, who's Darren Aronofsky. And then Natalie came on board, Natalie Portman, and it was just such a beautiful, incredible experience to really to do it.
Did Darren tell you why he wanted you to make the movie?
Well, he thought he saw some of my work, and then he thought it was interesting maybe not to have someone that's not an American, and maybe to bring someone that could have a different point of view on the story. And I don't know. Well, you tell me if he was right or wrong, but
He was definitely right.
thank you. but it was a beautiful process. I don't know. I always wonder, how could you make the story very universal? Because there was a lot of things that you would assume just by the fact that it's a very well-known story, so I didn't assume anything.
Right.
I wanted to understand and to feel and to have the proper emotions on the characters in order to be able to understand them by myself. So it was a very, interesting experience, and I really learned a lot.
And what was kind of your point of view towards this character and this story? I mean, what was your kind of relationship to the whole Kennedy situation coming in, and then how did it change as you went through the process?
Even though I'm not American, I know a lot about the story. It's just very well known, everything around it. But if you read the Warren Commission report, they would describe the way that JFK was assassinated, and then at the end they would say that Jacqueline Kennedy, his 34 years old wife, was sitting next to him. So the whole point of view is what would happen if we tell the same story, but from her point of view, and would assume that he was sitting next to her. And so that was the entrance, and that's the whole point. It's just to see everything from her eyes and to understand how she was able to put a country together, to sort of grab the entire country's grief and pain and put her over her shoulders and walk and push and expose herself and make it possible. I don't know. I think it was it's an incredible story. If somebody goes and tells you that this actually happened, you probably wouldn't believe it. But it did happen. It happened to her, and it's a story about a mother, I think, also about a woman who became somehow the country's mother. And I think there's a lot of beauty there, and a lot of danger and cinema.
Yeah. And she's so strong, and the fact that she's 34 years old is really kind of hard to fathom that that's when it happened, that she was that young. It's
very
really
young, especially, and I think it's very interesting what's going on today in this country, and I've been seeing what Michelle Obama has been doing, what Hillary Clinton has been doing, and no matter what your political beliefs are, there's no doubt that the role of a woman in this country's politics today is being taken very, very seriously, and that's important, and something that it should have happened, I think, long way ago, but it's happening now, and finally it's happening, which is great.
And your approach to the film is so unique, and at times it reads like a horror film, which makes sense to me because it was a horrible for everybody that experienced it, and for the country and the world. But even the scenes, not to give anything away, but just her in the shower when she's actually like washing his blood off of her, like that scene, it like sticks in my mind. I can't let it go. And I'm curious about those kinds of images that you were trying to, bring out in the movie. And was that something that, just your perspective on that, I'm curious about.
Well, we had a great script.
Yes.
And also we have all the historical facts that are all well known, and it's very well tracked down on record. There's every minute, every moment has been it's public, but once you're inside, there's no information of what happened, and that's what we as filmmakers, that's what fiction does, and we sort of try to imagine how would this woman be by herself, and what would happen inside of those doors, what would those conversations be, and how she got rid of that pink dress, and how how many or how much of the blood of his of the husband was on her hair and stuff like that. There's a bunch of things that we imagined, but we did it through her perspective, and just stick close to her and just looking at her.
Yeah. Well, it's really amazing. I encourage everybody to go out and see the movie when it opens on, tell us the date.
It's December 2.
December 2. It's a big day, and you guys have to go see the movie. Pablo,
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, please.
Take care.